When people are asked to MC an evening like this, it automatically becomes a very awkward situation for a lot of different people. It's very awkward for me to introduce people that all of whom universally say, the less you can say, the better, and don't say anything. So we're going to have a series of non-awkward introductions. And the next one, according to the program, is a friend to many of us and a long-time friend of mine, Dean Hammer.
Well, I have the good fortune of welcoming all of you on behalf of the Plowshares 8. And it's a very warming and heartening sense of the groundswell that our witness has created all around the country. So let me begin by introducing the rest of the 8 of us. Elmer, John, Carl, Phil, Ann, Molly, and Dan. Maybe they could just stand up and say hello to you all. Well, most of all, I think that our prayer for this week is that it is hope-filled. When we entered into GE last September, we walked into the 2 doors. It was not a break-in, and that's a very important place to begin. That the press continues to use this language of vandalism. And we just entered in the first door, and Ann and Carl encountered the security person who was reading a newspaper and said that there was nothing to worry about, that this was a nonviolent action. And the 6 of us just looped around him and entered into the second door untouched. And then actually encountered a second security guard who disappeared. He took one look at us and he never showed back up on the scene. And we turned our first corridor to the left without really knowing whether we were going to be able to get into the room that held the nose cones. And this was our act of faith, that we believed that it was ordained that nuclear weapons should be dismantled, and they need to be dismantled now. And I would like to think that that same faith is present with us this week, not knowing which doors will be opened in the courthouse and actually amongst each other. By that I mean that we would like to speak about the dangers of nuclear weapons in the courtroom. And it's unclear whether that will happen, but I think that the spirit that's present tonight and will be with us all week will be undeniable. And it will be a spirit of love. And I hope and pray that this will be a week of deepening our community of faith, so that our commitment to nonviolence, to disarmament, and to struggling together in the spirit will allow us to remain hopeful while we live on the edge of a precipice. These are very trying times, and it takes the best that we all have. And I think the best that we all have is the love that we can share with one another. It seems axiomatic that in order to create peace in the world, we need to be peaceful with one another at deep levels that speak of healing and caring, something that we don't see very much in the world. This evening in the Eucharist that we shared before we came here, we read from the Gospel of John, where Jesus was standing before Pilate, being asked whether he was the king of the Jews. And his response was that his kingdom is not of this world, and if it were, he would have brought armies to prevent his arrest. And here we hear the kernels of the nonviolent revolution. And he continues to offer up the sense that he entered into the world to bear the truth. And this is the meaning of apocalypse, to unveil the truth. And we're lucky enough to know that the truth is not dependent on us to concoct it, but simply to reveal it. That the truth transcends each of us as individuals, and that we become the channels for it. And we do that in response to the model, to the witness that Jesus offers us. So our action at Electric, that's where I come from, Connecticut. Our action at GE, at its deepest level, was a response to the Eucharist, a response to the Lord who gave himself up on the cross, and through that suffering has made the world different. It was the beginning of a new humanity. I hope and pray that we can share in the depths of that love of the Spirit that gives us all peace. Thank you all, and enjoy this week.